A pleasant day, everyone. I am Nicole Gonda. Together with my groupmates, we'll discuss the Chapter 11, Evaluation and Control. But before we go to the discussion proper, here are the learning objectives that should be met at the end of our report. So, what is evaluation and control in strategic management? Strategic evaluation and control is the process of determining the effectiveness of a given strategy in achieving the organizational objectives and taking corrective actions whenever is required. It also helps to assess whether the decisions match the intended strategy requirements. So kagaya dito sa table 11-1, dito pinakikita yung process kung paano yung mismong gagawin sa isang certain activity. While dito naman sa 11-2, ito yung implemented strategy. Kumbaga dito na kung paano mo mai-implement, kung paano mo ma-execute ng tama yung process na kinam up mo dito sa table 11-1. Measuring performance. Performance is the end result of activity. Select measures to assess performance based on the organizational unit to be appraised and the objectives to be achieved. So, dito sa performance, ina-assess natin yung kumbaga yung mga strategies and yung processes na ginawa natin para malaman natin kung efficiently and effectively ba yung mga programs, yung mga initiatives, yung mga projects na ginawa natin sa isang business natin para ma-meet natin yung mga targeted natin na goals, missions, visions, and objectives para sa successful corporate performance. Next is types of controls. We have three, the output, behavior, and the input. First is the output controls, wherein it specifies what is to be accomplished by focusing on the end result of behaviors through the use of objectives and performance targets or milestones. In short, sinasabi lang dito sa output controls, ito yung mga directly kaya nating i-measure, such as the number of sales, number of customers we help in a day, or even the hours we work in a day. The second one is the behavior controls. It specifies how something is to be done through policies, rules, standard operating procedures, and orders from a superior. So basically, it is the it provides instructions for how to perform a specific task or detailed guidelines sa kung ano yung mga gagawin sa isang workplace. For example, signs that are posted in the coffee shop bathrooms for that the employees must be reminded to wash their hands before returning to work, as well as yung tamang dress code kapag sila ay magsaserve at kapag yung sila ay nasa kanila mismong workplace na. Lastly is the input controls, wherein it emphasizes resources such as knowledge, skills, abilities, values, and motives of employees. So one of the most important input controls mechanisms are recruitment, selection of employees, as well as training of employees. Next is the activity-based costing. It is a recently developed accounting method for allocating indirect and fixed costs to individual products or product lines based on the value-added activities going into that product. So, dito sa activity-based costing, dito yung mga pumapasok yung salaries and utilities sa pagpo-provide ng services and sa pag-create ng product ng isang business. So, dito rin sa activity-based costing, ginagamit siya para makapag-formulate ng mga production cost and then para ma-breakdown yung overhead cost between doon sa production-related activities sa isang business. So, next is traditional cost accounting. It focuses on valuing a company's inventory for financial reporting purposes. So, dito sa traditional cost accounting, it applied indirect cost to products that are based on predetermined overhead rates. Unlike ABC, traditional cost accounting treat overhead rates as a single pool of indirect costs. So next is the enterprise risk management or the ERM, wherein it is a process of identifying and addressing the potential events that represent risk to the strategic objectives or to opportunities to gain competitive advantages. So dito sa ERM, hinahelp niya yung mga or ini-empower niya yung mga leaders na ma-identify sa isang area yung isang critical risk na yun, and then makaka-help siya to grow successful organizations that are flexible and then easily able to adapt to changes and to advancing risk. Let's proceed to the primary measures of corporate performance in traditional financial measures. So first, we have return on investment, or the ROI. It is simply the result of dividing net income before taxes by the total amount invested in the company, typically measured by total assets. So, in return on investment, this makes you to determine what marketing tactics are working and what areas can be improved. Here naman sa earnings per share, or the EPS, which involves dividing net earnings by the amount of common stock, also has several deficiencies as an evaluation of past and future performance. So here, basically, it is a financial measurement that tells investors whether a company is profitable or not. Return on investment has its own advantages and limitations, as you can see here in the table. But remember that ROI is the universally accepted financial metric because it's easy for anyone to understand and translates directly how much money you've made from a given expense. Another traditional financial measures is return on equity, wherein it involves dividing net income by total equity. Also has limitations because it also derived from accounting-based data. So, the higher the return on equity, the better a company is at converting its equity financing into profits. It also provides you with an insight into your business profitability for owners and investors. Next one is the operating cash flow. It is the amount of money generated by a company before the cost of financing and taxes. It is a broad measure of a company's funds. So here in the operating cash flow, it is the figure that determines whether or not a company has enough funds coming in to pay bills and in operating expenses, as well as it shows the success or the failure of your core activities in your business. Free cash flow, on the other hand, is the amount of money a new owner can take out of the firm without harming the business. Additionally, it is the company's availability of cash repaid to creditors and as dividends and interest to the investors.
Good day everyone, I am Bridget Buela, and as a continuation for Ms. Gonda's discussion, we're going to tackle about some recommended broad range methods by analysts to evaluate the success or failure of the strategy. So firstly, we have stakeholder measures. Each stakeholder ay may sari-sariling set of criteria para ma-determine kung gaano ka-okay ang performance ng corporation. So here are the examples of measures for each stakeholder. Ayan. Sa table na to, merong possible near-term measure, meron ding possible long-term measures. For example, sa customers, na may measure ang performance through sales, new customers, pag possible near-term. Tapos pag long-term naman, growth in sales na maaring ma-measure through comparing ng year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter, month-over-month na sales. Sa employees naman, maaaring ma-measure ang performance based sa number of suggestions, productivity. Sa productivity, ito yung kung gaano ka-efficient ang employee sa paggawa ng task. Tapos naman, number of grievances. Pwede din yun. Yung discontentment ng mga employee sa corporation nyo or management or environment ng corporation. Pwede din sa colleagues nila. Sa near term yun. Pagdating naman sa long term, pwedeng number of internal promotions. Ibig sabihin, pag na-promote yung internal candidate instead na mag-hire ng mga external candidates, is ibig sabihin, okay ang performance nila as employees. Tapos, so yung mga nabanggit ko, ilan lang yan sa mga stakeholder measure na para keep track ng top management ang concerns ng stakeholders. Second ay ang shareholder value. Ito naman yung mga traditional financial measures na nabanggit nga ni Ms. Gonda, like yung mga ROI. Ito ay kinoconsider as not reliable indicators of corporation's economic value. So, ang shareholder value, it is used by many corporations for better measure of corporate performance and strategic management effectiveness. Dito sa analysis ng shareholder value, nakafocus siya sa cash flow as the key measure of performance. Ibig sabihin, yung cash flow ang tinitingnan kung okay ba ang performance ng corporation. So, meron tayong dalawang shareholder value measures na devised and popularized by the New York consulting firm Stern Stewart and Company. Ito yung Economic Value Added or EVA or Market Value Added MVA. Ang principle ng EVA and MVA ay ang business daw ay dapat hindi mag-invest in projects unless they can generate more profit or they can generate a profit above the cost of capital. Ganon. Una, we have the economic value added or the EVA. It is after-tax operating income minus the total annual cost of capital. So, ang total annual cost of capital, ito yung investment in assets times the weighted average cost of capital. And sinasabi din na ang EVA daw maaring pumalit sa ROI or sa return on investments. While ang market value added naman or the MVA, it is the difference between the market value of a corporation and the capital contributed by the shareholders and lenders. Kumbaga, MVA is the present value of the future EVA. So, sinasabi na ang measures na nabanggit ko like MVA and EVA, kinoconsider niya lang ang financial interest ng shareholders, tapos hindi niya napapansin or nai-ignore ang ibang stakeholders like environmentalists and the employees. Next naman is the balanced scorecard approach. Diba kanina puro financial measures? Ito naman, combination siya ng financial measures and non-financial measures. So, in the balanced scorecard, management develops goals or objectives in each of 4 areas. So, meron tayong 4 areas. The financial, customer, internal business perspective, and innovation and learning. So, in financial, ang question is, how do we appear to shareholders? Dito yung financial performance ng business. Ang mga possible measures for success ay ang cash flow, quarterly sales growth, and ROE or return of equity. Sa customer naman, ito yung customer satisfaction. Ang question is, how do customers view us? Ang maaaring measures are market share, percentage of new sales coming from new product, and satisfaction ng customers. Next, or ang patatlo, internal business perspective. Dito yung efficiency ng business. What must we excel at? Ang key performance indicators ay pwedeng cycle time at unit cost. Lastly, we have the innovation and learning. Dito yung internal knowledge and innovation ng company. Can we continue to improve and create value? It could include time to develop next generation products. And then, we have the evaluation of top management and the board of director. Siyempre, kailangan din natin i-evaluate ang performance ng CEO tsaka ang top management team. Ini-evaluate ng board of directors ang top management hindi lang in terms of physical output-oriented quantitative measures but also in terms of behavioral measures. And para ma-evaluate natin ang performance ng CEO, meron tayong Chairman CEO Feedback Instrument. Ito ay 17-item questionnaire na na-develop ni Ram Charan at marami ng companies ang gumagamit nito. Ang questionnaire na ito ay nakafocus sa 4 key areas. Una, ang company performance. Pangalawa, ang leadership of the organization. Pangatlo is team building and management succession. And pang-apat ay ang leadership of external constituencies. Then, we have the management audit. Sa management audit naman, dito ina-assess natin ang competencies, capabilities, ng company's management in carrying out corporate objectives. Kung kaya ba ng management na i-carry out or gawin yung mga objectives ng corporation natin. At yun ang i-measure natin or i-assess. Next is strategic audit. So, ang strategic audit naman, type siya ng management audit na kung saan nakakatulong ito to determine why a certain area is creating problems for a corporation and help generate solutions to the problem. Malaking tulong ito para ma-evaluate ang performance ng top management. Now, we will discuss the primary measures of divisional and functional performance. Companies use a variety of techniques to evaluate and control performance in divisions, strategic business units, or SBUs, and functional areas. Una, meron tayong responsibility centers. So, ang bawat responsibility centers, meron silang own budget and evaluated on its use of budgeted resources. Meron tayong 5 major types ng responsibility centers. Ito yung standard cost centers, revenue centers, expense centers, profit centers, and investment centers. Ang standard cost centers, ito ay ginagamit sa mga manufacturing facilities. And para ma-evaluate ang performance ng center, yung total standard costs are multiplied by the units produced. Tapos sa revenue centers naman, it is judged in terms of effectiveness rather than efficiency. For example, effectiveness of sales region determined by comparing its actual sales to its projected or previous year's sales. And pangatlo, meron tayong expense centers. They cost a company money, but they only indirectly contribute to revenues. Typical expense centers are administrative, service, and research departments. Ang profit centers naman, performance is measured in terms of the difference between revenues and expenditures. And last, we have investment centers. Its performance is measured in terms of the difference between its resources and its services or products. Next naman, we have using benchmarking to evaluate performance. So ano nga ba ang benchmarking? Na-discuss na natin to sa mga past lessons. Ang sabi dito, it is defined as the continual process of measuring products, services, and practices against the toughest competitors or those companies recognized as industry leaders. So, sa benchmarking, parang kino-compare natin yung mga practices natin, yung performance natin, yung mga process natin against sa competitors para magkaroon tayo ng competitive advantage. So, may steps ng benchmarking process. Ito yung una, i-identify natin ang area or process to be examined. Next naman, find behavioral and output measures of the area or process and obtain measurements. Next, select an accessible set of competitors and best-in-class companies against which to benchmark. Next is calculate the differences among the company's performance measurements and those of the best-in-class and determine why the differences exist. Parang hanapan mo siya ng gaps. Tapos 5, develop tactical programs for closing performance gap. So yun, para nga magkaroon ka ng competitive advantage, mag-aano ka ng mga tactics mo para lumiit yung gap mo from other competitor. Tapos then, implement the programs and then compare the resulting new measurements with those of the best-in-class companies. Tapos dito, parang pagka-implement mo, evaluate mo kung okay ba ang mga tactical programs na dinevelop nyo. Tapos, i-evaluate nyo din kung effective ba at magkakaroon ba ng competitive advantage. Then lastly, ang 3 most widely used techniques for international performance evaluation ay ang ROI, budget analysis, and historical comparisons.
So good morning, I am April now I'm going to discuss the next topic. So first, strategic information system. So, ano nga ba pag sinabi natin strategic information system? So, a strategic information system, ito yung system used to create and maintain an organization's competitive strategy. SIS are also systems that are used to prevent organization competitors from gaining a competitive advantage. Yung strategic information system is mainly developed to respond to the corporate world and many businesses initiatives. So sa business namin, which is Printing and Study Hub Cafe, we can say na yung strategic information system can be a great or powerful tool for gaining a competitive advantage in several ways. First is SIS enables yung coffee namin to enhance customers' experience by offering convenience and personalizations. So, with features like online ordering, rest and reservations, customers preference tracking, and user-friendly website or app. So, yung coffee namin can attract and retain customers who appreciate the ease of doing business. So, this convenience is not only sets the coffee apart from competitors but also encourage customers' loyalty. Secondly is yung efficient inventory systems ensures that yung coffee namin always has the necessary supplies for printing and coffee operation. So by that, ma-reduce na yung stock outs and ma-minimize na yung wastage and ma-ensure na yung customers can rely on the coffee from their printing needs, leading to increased trust and satisfactions. Additionally, yung online ordering and reservation systems simplifies yung customer's experience, enabling them to place printing orders, reserve study spaces, and pre-order cafe items online. Furthermore, yung data analytics tools provide valuable insights in customers' behavior, allowing yung cafe namin to adjust its offering and business strategies in real time. By making data-driven decisions, the coffee can stay ahead of competitors by offering what customers want when they want it. So yung in summary, yung strategic information systems enables yung printing and study of coffee namin to offer a more personalized and efficient service, optimize its operation, and stay responsive to customers' needs. This advantage collectively contribute to improve customer satisfactions, loyalty, and distinct edge over competitors in the market. So next one is the Enterprise Resource Planning or the ERP. Many corporations around the world have adopted the Enterprise Resource Planning or the ERP software because this ERP unites all of a company's major business activities from ordering process or order processing to productions within a single family of software modules. Yung system na to provides instant access sa mga critical informations to everyone in the organizations from CEO hanggang sa factory floor worker. So because sa ability ng ERP software to use a common information system throughout sa company's many operations around the world, it's becoming the business information system's global standard. So naging key ingredient siya for gaining competitive advantage, streamlining operation, and managing a lean manufacturing system. So this software has gained widespread adoptions among corporations worldwide for multitude of reasons. So, this integrated business management software serve as a centralized platform, nag-serve siya as a centralized platform that unifies various functions including sa finance, human resources, inventory, production, and customer relations into a cohesive system. With ERP, yung corporations or yung business can boost productivity, minimize manual errors, and allocate resources more effectively. So, despite sa mga potential benefits na sinabi ko kanina about sa ERP, ERP implementations can also fail for several reasons. There are 3 reasons na ERP could fail. First is insufficient tailoring of the software to fit to the company. Second is inadequate training. And third is insufficient implementation support. So, first is insufficient tailoring of software to fit to the company is ERP systems are often like designed to be like more flexible and adaptable to various industries and business models. However, para ma-maximize yung effectiveness, they must be customized to align with the specific needs and workflows of the company. So, failure to tailor the ERP system or the software adequately can result in a mismatch between the systems and the business process. So, this misalignment can lead to inefficiencies, resistance from employees, and even errors in data handling. So to avoid this is crucial, like, para ma-avoid to, it is crucial to invest time and resources in customizing the ERP systems to suit for the company's unique requirements. So, yun nga, like sa business namin, if yung software is not tailored enough to accommodate the unique resources or the processes, services, and objectives of the cafe, it may lead to like inefficiencies and operational disruptions. For instance, failing to adapt the ERP to manage the cafe's printing services, study space management, and customers' interactions could result in a misalignment that hinders overall productivity. So, kailangan nga para ma-avoid to, kumbaga parang mag-invest ka ng time and yung resources in customizing the ERP system to suit your company's unique requirements. So, second is yung inadequate training. So, introducing ng ERP system into an organization requires significant change in how employees carry out their tasks. Inadequate training can leave employees unfamiliar with the new software, leading to confusion and resistance. Kasi nga, wala silang, may inadequate training sila. And yung, so, lack of understanding can result in suboptimal use of the ERP system, data entry errors, and frustration among employees. So, sa business namin, implementing ERP software in our cafe or printing services setting requires staff members to adopt new technologies and processes. So, if there's an inadequate training sa cafe namin provided to employees, yung employees namin may struggle to use the system effectively. And hindi ma-operate ng ayos ng mga employees yung business namin because they are not knowledgeable enough or like hindi pa sila sanay sa mga gawain or sa paggamit ng mga software and systems na yon. So by that, this can lead to errors, inefficiencies, and frustration among workforce. So by that, kailangan talaga ng isang business ang proper training because it is very essential to ensure na lahat ng team members nyo or members ng business nyo can make the most of the ERP systems whether they are working in the cafe or whether they are working sa cafe namin or sa pag-handling ng mga printing orders namin. So, the third one is insufficient implementation support. So, sa ERP implementation is a complex process that involves multiple phases from planning and customization to testing and going live. So, without sufficient support throughout these stages, the project can become overwhelmed by challenges. Implementation supports includes having a dedicated project management team, troubleshooting resources, and a clear change management strategy. So like, sa business namin, ERP with the copy strategic goals. So, without adequate support, yung cafe namin may makaka-encounter siya ng mga challenges in configuring the software, migrating data, and ensuring na yung system supports its operations seamlessly. So, kapag ganon, if yung mga problem is not addressed promptly during sa implementation phase, it can lead to delays, increased cost, and frustrations among stakeholders. So by that, may hihirapan na yung isang business na i-manage or may hihirapan na yung business namin na ma-manage yung business namin ng maayos kasi there's a chance na like mag-back out yung mga stakeholders namin. So, yun yung mga possibilities. So, if that happens, mapapabagal ng sobra yung success ng company or business namin. That's why we need a well-structured and well-supported implementation process kasi it's very essential and it's very essential sa successful ng ERP deployment and sa successful ng isang business or ng business namin. So, addressing this issue is vital to minimize the risk of ERP failure and ensure that the system brings the expected benefits to the organizations. And ERP implementations required careful planning, communication, commitment from all levels of the organization, from management to the end users. So next one naman is the radio frequency identification or the RFID. So very familiar naman tayo sa RFID, diba? So it is an electronic tagging technology used in a number of companies to improve supply chain efficiency. So in a business context, yung RFID technology is deployed to streamline and optimize various supply chain processes. It offers real-time visibility into a movement and locations of products, assets, and inventory. This increased transparency also leads to improved inventory management, reduced manual errors, and fosters more efficient operations. So, furthermore, RFID technology enhances supply chains visibility, enabling business to monitor the flows of goods and assets from production to delivery hanggang sa delivery na yon. So, by automating data capture and eliminating the need for manual scanning, yung RFID significantly reduce errors and improves data accuracy. And yung benefits ng RFID extend to loss prevention, security, asset tracking, and compliance ng mga various industries, making it like a vital tool for modern businesses seeking to gain a competitive edge or advantage and maintain operational excellence in an increasingly complex and fast-paced global market. And next one is yung divisional and functional support. At a divisional or SBU level of a corporation, the information system should be used to support, reinforce, and enlarge its business level strategy through its decision support system. So, at a divisional or SBU level, yung mga information system and in particular are instrumental in not only supporting and reinforcing the existing business level strategy but also ina-expand nito yung. This system enables yung mga decision makers to access sa mga tamang information and at the right time, and ina-align nila yung operations with the corporation goals and response swiftly to changing market conditions, ultimately contributing sa success and growth ng divisions within sa large corporation structure. So, yun yung divisional and functional is support. So, next one is yung problem sa measuring the performance. First is yung meron tayong two, which is lack of quantifiable objectives or performance standards and inability of information system to provide timely and valid information. So, sa first is lack of quantifiable objective or performance standard is sa printing and study of cafe namin is ang quantifiable objectives and performance kasi are very essentials to ensure na para ma-ensure yung business nyo is nami-meet niya yung goals effectively. So, for instance, having a clear standards for printing services like may involve metrics like kung ilan ba yung napiprint namin or yung print jumps namin na pa-process per day, yung average turnaround time, yung mga error rate in print orders and such. And saka cafe sections naman, yung mga performance standards could include sa measuring the table turnover rate, customer satisfaction score, and so on and so forth. So, without these specific quantifiable objectives and sa performance standards, yung business can pwedeng possible na yung business may struggle to assess its efficiency and effectiveness in delivering its service. Kumbaga parang hindi magiging maayos yung pagsiserve mo, pagbibigay mo ng service dun sa customers mo. And next one, yung pangalawa is inability of information system to provide timely and valid information is sa isang business, timely and valid information is critical para sa mga decision making and performance assessment performance assessment. So, for instance, sa business namin, in printing service, delays in trackings and status of print orders or inventory levels of printing supplies can result sa customers' dissatisfaction and operational inefficiencies. Sa cafe sections naman, accurate information is needed para matrack yung sales, inventory levels of copy items namin, and yung customers' feedback. So, delays or inaccuracies in this data can hinder sa cafe's ability to respond to the customers' demands and trends effectively. So by that, addressing these issues with specific, quantifiable objectives and an efficient information system, yung cafe can enhance its operational effectiveness, customer satisfaction, and overall performance ng business namin. So next is short-term orientation. So top executive reports that in many situations, they analyze neither the long-term implication of present operation on strategy they have adopted, nor the operational impact of a strategy of a corporate mission. So, ang short-term orientation kasi, it is mindset or approach that emphasize or near-term results and outcomes over long-term planning and sustainable strategy. So, it characterized by a preference for quick gains, rapid return of investment, and a focus on short-term goals, often at the expense of long-term consideration. So, um, yung long-run evaluations kasi may not be conducted because sometimes executive don't realize the importance, and yung mga executives kasi may not conduct long-term evaluations because they may not fully grasp the significance of considering the long-term implications of their current operations or strategies. So, lack of awareness dun sa anong yun can result from myopic focus on short-term gains and immediate challenge, potentially neglecting the yung sustainability and long-term success ng isang organization or ng isang business. And yung pangalawa na belief that short-term considerations hold greater importance than long-term ones. Nasabi ito, that it can lead executive to prioritize immediate result over the long-term impact of their strategy. So, yung short-term na yun, focused might stem from external pressures such as meeting quarterly targets, satisfying investors, and addressing pressing operational issues. So, yung pangatang sinasabi ito, not personally evaluated on long-term basis, but when executive performance evaluation and compensations are like primarily linked to sa short-term financial metrics, they may be incentivized in this incentivized from conducting the long-term or long-run evaluation. So, this is especially true if hindi sila accountable or personally accountable for long-term corporate performance. So, yung pang-apat is sa time constraints na lack of time to make long-run analysis or don't have the time to make long-run analysis is like the demanding nature kasi ng day-to-day operation and decision making can leave executives with limited time to conduct in-depth long-run analysis. So, yung mga urgent and immediate tasks may consume their attentions, leaving little room for considering the long-term implications of their actions. So, these factors, itong apat na factors na to, lead to disconnect between day-to-day operations and long-term strategic goals. So, it's important for organization na mahanap yung balance between short-term and the long-term perspective, emphasizing the significance of both, providing incentives for executive to consider the broader future consequences of their decision. So, pag neglect sa long-run evaluations can lead sa company na maging vulnerable to unforeseen challenges or kumbaga maging vulnerable sila sa mga mangyayari sa susunod na araw or sa future, mangyayari sa future. So, and hinder its adaptability in rapidly changing business environment. So, that's the short-term orientations. And so, next one is goal displacement. Yung goal displacement is the confusion of means with ends and occurs when activities originally intended to help the managers attain corporate objectives become ends in themselves or are adapted to meet ends other than those for which they are intended. Ang goal displacement is a phenomenon where yung original objectives ng isang organization or individual is intended to help a specific purpose or outcome. This can happen when yung activities or means that were initially designed to support the attainment of specific goals start to take on a life of their own. In other words, these activities became goal in themselves or are repurposed to meet different objectives, often unrelated to the organizational original mission. For example, sa business namin, which is the printing study of cafe, yung goal displacement namin might occur if the cafe's original goal of providing a conducive and efficient study environment becomes overshadowed by secondary objectives or activities that deviates from our core missions. For instance, if yung cafe initially aimed to offer a quiet, like for example, yung cafe namin aimed to offer a quiet and distraction-free space for students para dun sila mag-study and access printing service. So, yung goal displacement namin could occur if it starts focusing excessively on sa mga unrelated activities namin like um, hosting, uh, hosting events such as yung mga loud parties or live music performance. So, yung mga events na yun, while potentially profitable, may disrupt the peaceful study atmosphere, leading to a shift in priorities. So, this deviation from the cafe's primary missions could result in a loss of its original customer base. As a student seeking a tranquil study environment may be um, discouraged by the newfound distractions. In this way, yung goal displacement could hinder the cafe's core purposes, potentially affecting its our competitiveness and success. So, to mitigate yung goal displacement na yun, it is important for our cafe to regularly reassess its activities or our activities and ensure that they are aligned with our primary missions of providing an optimal study and printing experience for its target customers. So here, meron tayong two types ng goal displacement which are the behavior substitution and behavior suboptimization. Sa behavior substitution, it refers to a phenomenon when people substitute activities that do not lead to goal accomplishment for activities because the wrong activities are being rewarded. So, nasabi lang dito na yung behavior substitution occur kapag yung mga individuals or groups sa loob ng isang organizations or replace activities that are not directly talaga or hindi talaga siya directly naka-align sa pag-achieve ng intended goals ng business nyo. Yun nga, sabi ko nina, this typically happens kapag yung wrong activities are being rewarded. So, yung mga individuals or teams may focus on actions that are more visible and easier to measure rather than sa mga activities na that would genuinely contribute to organization success. So, sa business namin, which is the printing and study of cafe nga, yung behavior substitution namin might occur if yung mga employees and staff members namin, pinaprioritize nila yung task or activities that are easier and to complete or offer more immediate rewards, even if yung activities na yun, hindi talaga siya nagko-contribute significantly sa objectives ng cafe namin. For instance, yung mga employees may focus sa pag-create ng mga welcoming study environment, which is and also an essential for our cafe success din naman. So, yung sub-optimizations naman is yung refers to phenomenon of unit optimizing its goal accomplishment to the detriment of the organization as a whole. So, sa business namin, sub-optimization occur kapag yung specific departments or units sa organizations namin prioritize their own goals and objectives over the overall missions ng business namin. For instance, yung cafe's printing service department might focus solely sa pagmamaximize lang ng printing orders, even if it's resulting in overcrowding the study areas and negatively impact the dun sa study environment na yon. Alternatively, yung cafe operations team naman could excessively promote their section of the business at the expense of the study phase, potentially causing conflicts or resource inefficiencies within the cafe. So, itong dalawang to, yung types ng goal displacement, can be problematic because it can lead to lack of focus on the original goals and missions of the organizations. Also, it may also result in misallocations of resources and diversion of effort away from most critical objectives. Therefore, yung organizations or yung mga organization or yung business din namin, kailangan maging vigilant tayo in recognizing and addressing goal displacement para ma-ensure yung activities and strategies natin na ma-remain aligned with maaging aligned pa rin siya sa core missions and objectives natin. Sa vision and mission and objectives natin. So next one is the guidelines for proper control. So in designing a control system, top management should remember that controls should follow strategy unless controls ensure the use of proper strategy to achieve the objectives. There is a strong likelihood that dysfunctional side effects will completely undermine the implementations of the objectives. So yung mga list na to, it is the following guidelines that are recommended. So first is yung control should involve only the minimum amount of information needed to give a reliable picture of events. So these guidelines ina-emphasize niya yung importance ng collecting relevant data and yung informations without overburdening the organizations with sa mga excessive data. So, ini-encourage nito na, it encouraged yung focus ng KPIs and metrics that provides a clear and accurate representations ng organization's performance. So sinasabi lang dito na too much information can lead to analysis, paralysis, and making decision making less effective. Sa pangalawa naman, control should monitor only meaningful activities and results regardless of the measurement difficulty. So, here is it's essential to concentrate. Sinasabi dito na mahalaga na mag-concentrate on monitoring activities and outcomes na directly na nakaka-contribute to the achievements of the organizational objectives. So, this guidelines stresses that yung importance ng not compromising yung monitoring challenging to measure areas if they are critical to the organization's success. So, the focus should be on what truly means or what truly matters even if it's require more effort to measure. Yung pangatlo naman, control should be timely so that corrective action can be taken before it's too late. So, timely controls allow organizations to na ma-identify yung mga issue and deviation from plan promptly. So, this enables swift corrective actions, reducing the likelihood of minor problems escalating into major crises. So, yung mga timely feedback and intervention is very crucial for maintaining our performance consistency. Yung pang part naman, long-term and short-term controls should be used. Siyempre, yung well-rounded control system natin, na i-incorporate niya yung both long-term and short-term controls ng business natin. So, yung long-term controls focus sa strategic goals, while yung short-term controls address siya sa mga immediate performance issues. So, pag kinombine mo yung approaches, yung dalawang approaches na to, may ensure niya that the organizations remain on track towards the long-term visions while addressing the day-to-day operational challenges. Yung pang-fifth is yung control should aim at pinpointing exemption. So, instead of attempting to monitor every detail, control should be primarily focused on pag-identify ng exemptions or deviation from establishment standards. So, this approach, yung guidelines approach directs attention to areas that require na yung sa immediate action or improvement, saving resources, and preventing micromanagement. Yung pang-last is emphasize the rewards of meeting exceeding standards rather than punishment for failing to meet standards is yung positive and motivational control environment encourage employees to strive for excellence, rewarding and recognizing individuals or teams for meeting or exceeding standards fosters a culture of continuous improvement. So while consequences for non-compliance may be necessary, they should not be primary focus sa So next one is strategic incentive management. So sabi dito, it is to ensure congruence between the needs of the corporation as a whole and the needs of the employees as individuals. So yung management and the board of directors should develop an incentive program that rewards desired performance. So sa business namin, we'll likely have strategic goals such as pag-increase ng customer satisfaction and enhancing yung quality of service na meron kami. And also, achieving the financial target. So, yung incentive program na to should be designed to align with these corporate objectives. For example, you can create incentives for cafe staff to provide excellent customer service or the printing services team to meet a specific processing time target. So, here this will ensure that the individuals or the employees put more efforts to contribute to overall success of the cafe. For instance, we can offer also bonuses and recognition to staff or to the printing staff or the cafe staff who consistently receive positive customer feedbacks or to the printing members who meet or exceed efficiency standards. So, itong incentive na to is nagiging motivations nila to lead or can lead to improve service quality, customer satisfaction, and operational excellence. So, by that, um, in our printing and study hub cafe, it's very essential to balance the short-term and long-term goals because yung short-term goals, short-term incentives kasi can encourage immediate results. Syempre, in a short-term period of time, we can encourage immediate results such as boosting daily sales and reducing printing turnaround time. So, however, sa long-term incentives naman, it can motivate employees to contribute to the cafe's sustainability and growth, such as like sa pag-achieve ng long-term customers, yung mga customers loyalty, kumbaga para pagtagal ng customers, syempre magiging loyal yung customers na yun sa business namin. And improve the study environment. Lastly, syempre, we need a clear communications about the incentive program because it's vital or it's important because yung employees kasi kailangan ng employees na maintindihan or they need to understand how they can earn rewards, what is expected of them, how their performance directly impacts the cafe success. So transparent communication fosters a positive work environment and ensure that everyone is on the same page. So yung strategic incentive management na to will lead or will help the cafe success. And dahil kasi, yun nga, parang nagiging motivation kasi to ng staff or ng members ng organization or ng business nyo na mag-work hard para maging successful yung company nyo. So, by that, kumbaga parang naging win-win situation kasi naging successful ng company nyo, kumbaga may nakuhang benefits pa rin yung employees na yun. Kaya sabi nga dito, ensure congruence between the needs of corporation as a whole and the needs of employees as individuals. So, yun. So, now naman, meron ditong 3 approaches are tailored to help match measurements and rewards with explicit strategic objectives and time frame. So, yung tatlong to is yung weighted factor method, long-term evaluation method, and strategic funds method. Sa weighted factor method, sa business namin, weighted factor method can be used to assign varying degrees of importance to different performance factors na magsusupport sa cafe's strategic goals namin. So, for example, we can assign higher weights to factors like customer satisfaction, efficient printing services, and maintaining a conducive study environment. So, this will ensure that yung employees' efforts are in line with the cafe's strategic priorities and their performance evaluations or rewards are based on their contribution to this critical area. So, yung next one, so yun yung weighted. Yung long-term evaluation method naman is yung itong long-term evaluation method na to is relevant para sa business namin because strategic objectives aims at long-term sustainability and growth. Syempre, yung approach na ito involves assessing employee performance over an extended period considering their contributions sa long-term goals such as yung sa building yung sinasabi ko kanina, building a loyal customer base or expanding its service. So, it encourages employees to focus on activities that may not yield immediate result but are essential for copy's continued success in the future. Kumbaga parang mas magiging sa patagal ng panahon mas magiging successful yung copy or yung business nyo. Yung pangatlo naman is strategic funds method. So here from the word itself, strategic funds. So ang nakalaan dito is yung sa mga budget. So, strategic funds method can be employed to allocate a specific budget or fund dedicated to rewarding and incentivizing activities that align sa cafe strategic objectives namin. For instance, funds can be set aside for rewarding employees who kung sino man yung mga actively contribute sa pag-i-improve ng study environment or for implementing innovative printing solutions that support sa cafe's growth goals. So, this method is, sa method naman na to is nai-ensure niya that resources are channeled directly into initiative that drives the cafe's strategic missions. So, yon yung tatlong approaches, tatlong methods. So here, di ba kanina may sinabi akong 3 methods which are the weighted factor method, long-term evaluation method, and strategic funds method. So na-explain ko na yon, and this time, ito naman yung effective way to achieve the desired yung 3 approaches na yon. So yung first is segregated strategic funds from short-term funds as is done in the strategic funds methods. Yung pangalawa, develop a weighted factor chart for the SBUs for each SBU, and 3. Measure performance on 3 bases: the Petrax profit indicated by strategic funds approach, the weighted factors, and the long-term evaluations of SBUs and the corporation's performance. So, sa Petrax profits, this base assesses the Petrax profit generated sa initiative supported by the strategic fund. So, it directly links sa financial success ng achievement ng long-term strategic goals. Sa weighted factors naman, based siya sa evaluate performance based sa weighted factors na na-identify dun sa mga charts ng SBUs, and it ensures the employees' contribution aligns with the strategic priorities naman of their respective SBUs. Sa long-term evaluation naman is assesses performance over an extended period, recognizing employees' contribution sa long-term objectives na nagso-support sa overall strategic missions ng isang business. So always remember that having a strategic management without evaluation and control is like playing football without any goalpost. Unless strategic management improves performance, it is only an exercise. In business, the bottom line measure of performance is making profit. So, if people are not willing to pay more than what it is cost to make a product or provide a services, that business will not continue to exist. So that would be all for our report, and thank you.